the lobbying begins on Hobby Lobby. It's the framing wars. The Democrats say, you see, this is a war on women, and this is what the Republicans are doing. Republicans and conservatives say, oh, no, we're pro-women. How could that possibly be? All right, we're going to get you that argument from Fox News in a second. It's awesome. But they also say, no, this is the Democrats' war on faith. You see, they hate God and they hate religion. They won't let poor corporations have their deeply held religious beliefs. Funny every time. Corporations with their deeply held religious beliefs. Okay, so first we go to Fox News. They got Bob Beckel on. This is great because this is a program called Outnumbered, and they have 4 conservatives to 1 liberal. Yeah, okay, he's outnumbered. Okay, now normally they bring Beckel on, pretend he's a liberal, and he'll say the most outrageous, bigoted, conservative things. In this rare case, he actually is a liberal. So he's outnumbered by the women, but wait till you see the arguments they make. Watch.
In this case, this is the most egregious of all. 2 people, and I happen to be a Christian and a very strong one. The idea that I would impose my values on 13,000 people is obscene, absurd, and unconstitutional, and the court should be bludgeoned for it.
Yeah, we don't have time to get to it, but they're saying this is a huge win for women at a time when Ruth Ginsburg...
Why is it a win for women? What about women who want to have a...
What about female business owners?
Oh, I see. And not the 13,000 women who may want to have contraceptive help?
They do have contraceptive help. They only have 4 different kinds that they can't get.
Oh, they can pick and choose because they happen to own the corporation?
And you know what? Sandra Fluck, your buddy, she tweeted out earlier, this is not my boss's business.
It isn't.
That's what the court ruled today. Guess what, Bob? It said it's not the boss's business what these women do, what kind of contraception they use.
I'm curious to see what the White House will say now. Because this is a huge punch at the president's signature health.
I'd be curious to see what happened if there was a Jewish group, if there was a Jewish couple that started a company, 13,000 people, but they were very strong Orthodox Jews, and they wouldn't allow their employees to use electricity or drive on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Oops. Pretty good example by Bob Beckel. Obviously, we agree with that. Look, I can go further, by the way. I'm agnostic. I run a company here. And what if I started getting in? First of all, think about how creepy this is. This is what Fox calls a win on women. For women. I'm going to go to all of my female employees. What kind of sex are you having? No. I disapprove of that. No, you don't get birth control. And as Ruth Bader Ginsburg points out, it could actually be much broader than that. So, I don't know, are you going to get STDs? Well, if you are, I don't want to cover that either. I mean, that's, you're choosing. Now, shouldn't I ask the guys too? Who cares? No, I just want to ask the women. Okay? So, the Supreme Court says I'm a corporation. I got deeply held religious beliefs. I can do whatever I want, right? So I pull them in and I go, in the immortal words of Pat Robertson.
Please forgive me if I'm being personal, but tell me about your sex life.
Okay. And what if I say, hey, you know what? You Christians, I think you guys are nuts, right? You Muslims, Jews, whatever, anybody who believes in fundamentalist religion, I think you're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I'm not going to cover psychological counseling anymore. Because, I mean, you're obviously going to need it because you're nuts. I don't want to pay for that. Hey, you want to pay for it? You pay for it, buddy. Isn't that what Fox News just said? You pay for it, right? And so why is it a win for women? Well, for the women business owners who also get to discriminate, it's a win for them. My English teacher, when I tried to do symbolism in a book that wasn't there, he'd go like this. You're reaching. Okay, no. Really, anybody sit there and go, oh yeah. By the way, those women, if Fox News then turns around, News Corp, and says, oh, by the way, your birth control is not covered anymore. Wait a minute. I thought this was a win for us. What happened? Oh, you think that they're going to like that? You think they'll be like, oh, God, really happy about your deeply held religious beliefs, News Corp? My guess is that's not how it's going to go down. All right, so this is just the beginning. Here we go with Rush Limbaugh. He says, in the Hobby Lobby case, narrow though it may be, the Supreme Court by 5-4 majority decision defended liberty. Oh, I see. This is about liberty. Okay. How about the liberty of those women to live their life any damn way they please without every employer nitpicking, hey, how did you live your life? What kind of birth control did you use? What kind of sex did you have? I'm going to allow and disallow certain parts of your health insurance coverage based on what you're doing. How about that liberty? No. Only liberty for corporations. All right, then we go to conservatives on Twitter. Here's Todd Starnes, whoever the hell he is. SCOTUS decision is a victory for unborn babies. Okay, now look, he goes on to say Obama's plans to force Christians to fund abortions is thwarted. They mentioned that in the clip too. You would think that your Obamacare is forcing employers to pay for abortion. It's not. It's just certain kinds of birth control that they claim is abortion. Now, they have no scientific backing for that, but they just said it. So they say, oh, no, but the IUD and after the thing, and then maybe there was conception, maybe there was, I'm not clear. Anyway, so that's my deeply held. Really, where in the Bible does it talk about an IUD? When did it get that specific? I thought you guys were strict constructionists. I thought you were literalists. Where does it say IUD in the Bible? By the way, if you actually read the Bible says kids, even after they're born, if they're only a month old, aren't worth a damn. I think it's 5 shekels. But it's not eye for an eye. If you kill someone and they're more than a month old, then you got problems if you killed a real life form, okay? But if they're under a month old, let alone in the womb, that doesn't count. Read the Bible. Read the Bible, okay? But these guys don't care about that. So now, more outrage reaction. Eric Bolling from Fox News says, somebody get eyeballs on Sandra Fluck. She may be doing something dumb. After all, now she has to pay for her own birth control. I got you. Women who want to pay for birth control. Actually, that's 99% of women. So Fox thinks they're brilliant, and these conservatives think that they're brilliant because, we're going to say the Democrats are against religion. And unfortunately, that'll work in some instances. Now, it's actually not the case. Overwhelming majority of religious women not only use contraception, that's about 98, 99%, but say that it should be covered under the Affordable Care Act. Overwhelming majority, about 65% or so. So actually, religious people in the country, they're on the other side of this issue. But, Democrats suck at framing, so they'll probably lose that. But on the other hand, if I were the Republicans, I wouldn't rejoice too much, because all you're doing is screaming in the press here, women, we're not going to pay for your contraception, take that. That doesn't sound great. I think that's really, really crappy politics. But what's new, right? Speaking of that, now we go to Eric Erickson. He says, hey, liberals, guess what? Your birth control isn't your boss's business now. Thanks, Supreme Court. I think he actually was thanking the Supreme Court there. Actually, it is your boss's business. Before, your boss couldn't get into your sex life at all. They couldn't ask, hey, what kind of birth control, what kind of not birth control, sex, not sex, single, married. Now they say, okay, no, we're going to divide and we're going to impose our beliefs on you. So that is total BS. But his next tweet's my favorite. My religion trumps your right to employer-subsidized, consequence-free sex. Oh, I love that you wrote that. You see, there it is, in a nutshell, what they think. He says, first of all, my religion, he said my religion, is more important than anything you do with your life. I'm going to impose my religion on you. Does that sound like the American way? Does that sound like something that women in America would be in favor of? Oh, great. Why don't I have Eric Erickson's religious beliefs imposed on my sex life? That sounds like such a win for women. And then he goes on to say, your right to employer-subsidized, consequence-free sex. God, really, man? This dude, if he was offered consequence-free sex with a hot supermodel, he'd be like, this is not consequential enough for me. Eric Erickson, you're such a loser. So you want to be proud of being part of the loser party? Have at it, Hoss.